Hi guys, so I am back and I'm actually going to do what I'm supposed to be doing today, and that's using up some of my really old cane. So I have this background cane. It's got like a little translucent blue in the center. I don't like it, and I found this old flower. I'm hoping I have enough to do this, but I got some leaf right here, so we're gonna play with the leaf first. And this is actually copper and gold, and I never used it. It came in one of those like containers of mixed foils that you can get from Amazon, and I don't use copper much, so I thought I'd get rid of it. So we're just gonna spread this all over the place. That's just big chunks of it. This stuff is so messy, so be prepared. And we're basically just going to cover as much as we can of our veneer here. So I'm trying to take some icky clay and icky cane and see if I can, I don't know, turn something good out of it. Just put a couple over there. Alright, so I think that might be good enough. Just gonna take all these little pieces that are falling off. There we go. And we're just gonna spread it everywhere. And whatever doesn't stick, we're just gonna wipe off here. I'm probably gonna have more on the floor than I will on my project. Okay, so let's get our baggie again and dump this before I sneeze and it all goes in. Alright, so it's not perfect, but it's okay. So we're going to grab our brayer now and we're just going to burnish it in. And now we're just going to take this cane that we've got, all covered in this stuff here, and we're going to just make some very thin slices. I'm going to start from the middle or something. And we're going to fill this up. So all I'm doing is laying all this down. And I'm probably going to hit pause because this is going to take me a little bit of time to do. So basically that's all I'm doing, is just setting them around. Okay, and I'll come right back. Okay, so we are back and we've got this whole veneer covered. Now we're just going to make sure that all of this is nice and smooth on top. That was kind of hard getting these on, especially with the leaf. None of it wanted to stick. And then a couple of them would stick to each other, so I just left them wherever they landed. I didn't really worry about it. And I'm going to run this on the pasta machine at a number 5 because I want this thin for what I'm doing. See, that might not be a good idea. Yeah, so that, just remember that when you go to do this, that gold leaf is sometimes not your friend. I think I'm gonna have to put paper in front of it when I run it through the pasta machine so that it doesn't stick to my rollers, because I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. Once I cover it, it's gonna be a lot easier. Alright, let's try that again. So we might just have to use our hand. So the bottom of the veneer, the base blue that I used, I had run it through at a number 5 previously, because I knew that I was going to add some thickness to it with the cane that I just used. Ah, darn it, it's even sticking to that. Okay, so we're gonna pray that this is good enough, and I might just make a sandwich out of it. I don't know yet. And it's already really thin, so you're gonna have to be really careful when you lift it up. You can make your initial base maybe a little thicker, and that should help. I didn't think of the silver leaf being a pain when I started. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to put that, I think I want to cover the top part more than anything. So we're going to try this, but I'm not going to go to 5 obviously, because it's going to be a lot thicker than that. Ah, that's not going to work, it's too wide. Think, think, think. Again, planning your ideas are pretty smart. I just never do. I'm just happy that I'm actually in here doing something with canes that I've already made, although I do need to get on the torch tonight. So I may make a glass video later on tonight. I know you should not use your blade to cut this, but it was right there. Alright, so now we're going to put this through. I'm at a 2. Okay, and that worked. But now I need to go thinner. That was hard enough to pick up. So we're going to run it through at a 3. Very slowly. See, and it wants to come off so bad. So let's see what happens if I do it at a 5, but without anything protecting the top. So far, so good. Oh, made it very long. Okay. I mean, even just this might actually make a really cool bead. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put any flowers on this yet. And I'm just going to leave it like this. Which means that I'm definitely going to have to put a coating on top of this, because if I don't, that gold leaf's just going to come right off. So we're going to try and smooth this a little bit. There's a couple areas here that I think it kind of looks good with some of that gold showing through. And the flower that I picked out for this, I didn't really care for, but I do have that flower that we worked on. One that I didn't care for. So I might, see, I don't think the colors are going to match very well, but we're going to open this up. Look at me, I wrapped my canes correctly. Alright, we might just put a few of these and just see how I like it. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit, and I don't want you guys to have to sit through that, so I will be right back. Okay, so if you ask me, I'm not really sure that I like this flower on there. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like it matches color-wise. But I'm going to at least make one of them like this. And then I think I'm just going to make 2 actual beads, and I'll throw them in the oven and see what they look like when they actually come out of the oven. And then I'll decide whether I want to put any more on or not. I'm not really worried about where these are laid. I don't want too much, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to look really nice just the way it is. So I'm going to make a couple more. Might be a little close to each other. Okay, we're just going to leave them alone. So I'm going to make 2 beads. I'm going to make one with the flowers, one without. And I kind of have a tray of beads behind me to throw in the oven. I have never made paper beads. This is like my first time. Well, paper-like beads since I'm using clay. And I have two different templates. One is from fthsupplies.com, and that's Rhonda, who also makes cutters, but her store has a lot more than just cutters. She's got silk screens and all of that stuff. And then the other one is Tiny Pandora. So they both have templates. If you like making smaller beads and thicker beads, then I would do Rhonda, because hers are a little smaller. I don't know if I showed you before the video or not what these look like. These are basically the templates. So this is Rhonda's. So she has smaller ones, because I will not use all of these even on the Tiny Pandora ones. Okay, so she's got 3 different sizes, and they range from 5 inches, 4 inches, and this is probably about 3 inches approximately. And these are great if you like the square ends. If you can see, they're square and they're pretty wide. And these are Teresa. If I were to tell you, so there's a big difference, and that's why I have both of their sets. So these are just a little wider, faster than Teresa's. These are a little slow going, so it's more of a slow gradient. So depending on what you want to do, you can use both of them. Since Rhonda's are so much smaller, you can afford to go thicker on your clay. And what I mean by that is these, again, I've made this video like 3 times, so I'm not sure if I already mentioned this, but these just determine the width of your bead. How thick you make your clay will determine how big the diameter is. I don't like it really wide, or not wide. I don't like the diameter really big. You know, 10 to 12 millimeters is good for me at the most. So what is that? That's 2. And then we're going to make this one without the flower. So basically you would go across this whole thing the way I did. And I just switch direction, and that way you're not wasting any clay. Okay, so we're going to pull this one up. Wow, why does it feel like I did not cut through that? I have to do this one more time. I think it was right there. Maybe I used the back of my blade, I'm not sure. Did not cut all the way through. I'll leave that on there. Okay, the other thing, as you can see, this is really thin, which is perfect for me. You can use a straw. And they come in different diameters, and they stick really well to these. When you try and do this on these straw things, they're just wonderful in how they stick to it. Look at that. I mean, they just stick. I am using a lamp working mandrel, something that I'd have bead release on. And it's not sticking as well as I'd like, but I've got these new ones that I actually took out the other day. You can buy these anywhere. I buy these from France Art Glass, but if you go to a welding shop or even a hardware shop in your town, just ask them for welding rods. And most places carry it. I don't want a big hole. And so that's why I'm using these. And basically you're just going to get it stuck on there. And you're going to really slowly wrap this up. Trying to keep in the center. See, this might be a little taller than I want. I think 3.5 inches to 4 is where I'm comfortable. But like I said, the width of this is determined by the width of the template, but how thick you make your clay will determine the height, the diameter. So if I had this at a 3 or 2 and you used it at 5 inches, this would have been like that big. You know, maybe for a pendant that wouldn't be so bad, but for what I'm doing, I don't want it that big. Now as you can see, the ends don't quite match, so you can come in here if you have a steady hand, which I don't, and just spin it like that and get these sides even. Oh, it's horrible when you don't have a steady hand, isn't it? Or what you can do is wait until they come out of the oven and basically just run it on the sandpaper flat like that. Okay, so out of all the beads that I've done today, see, by going a little bit longer, it made it a lot wider than these. These were the ones that I did earlier. Still not bad, but I like about 3.5 to 4 inches. So we're gonna do this one, and since this one's got a few flowers on here, okay, where did my flower go? I'm gonna add like maybe 1 or 2 more flowers to this side. And I'm going extremely thin. Okay. And we'll just do 1 more. We'll do 1 right there. And I'm just going to lightly, because I'm going to start messing up all the rest of them that I cut. These definitely varnish. I just picked up some new varnish. I've never used it before. It was the last video that I saw from Turtle Soup Beads. She had recommended it on her channel, and it's like Monty Marty or something like that. I'll have to find the container. So what a perfect project to practice on. So we're going to try that tonight and see how they look with these. Yeah, see, it kind of messed up my lines here, but okay. So this is the other one with the flowers. And if you wanted to, you could leave your beads on the mandrel until they come out of the oven. You know, you can just line them up and then grab like a bead holder, or just make a contraption to lay your beads on to where your ends are sticking up and your beads aren't touching anything. So you can do that as well. Okay, so this one I'm not going to cut up or anything. But because I don't want them that big, that was my stomach. Somebody's getting hungry. I need to take my animals out as well. I don't know if I want to cut off an inch. I'm just going to cut off a 1/2 inch. And what I'll do, how did this not go through? That's twice. So this one, I really like that gold and the copper. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to see this. I don't want to waste it. So there. Yikes. This is going to be interesting to wrap. Thank goodness that this is on the bottom, so you're not going to see this. Yeah, this might be, well, this was the end, so I'm not expecting much out of this. Okay. All right, so now we have one more. Let me just go ahead and do one more of these. And then I'm going to continue on and make these. Throw them in the oven. Well, actually, I'm not going to make any more until later. I'm going to put at least these in the oven just to see which I like better. Just going to cut off this little piece right here. Yeah, I don't know why that's not pointy. Okay, so there's the other one. Here, how about I do this so you guys can actually see this? So this is kind of like a rustic look because it does have a few areas that are crackling, so hopefully that'll work into what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna make one more. I think this is the one I used. So we're gonna come off like this. But it's pretty simple. Once you make your veneer, I have to admit, this has gone really quick. See, a lot of this is cracking a bit, and actually I don't mind that at all. Got a little straggler right there. That's really cool. Too bad I'm gonna cover that part up. All right, so there's our last one that we're gonna do. Sorry about that, didn't mean. See if we can do that with white on the bottom. It might show up a little better. Okay, so now it's gonna be interesting to see what these look like when they come out. And again, if you don't wanna go really thin, you can make your cuts wherever you want. So, you know, you can take this thick one and use from there to there. I like the way it tapers all the way down, which is why I use the bottom up, but you don't have to. You can use the bigger one and come down, and you can pull it and make it thinner. So that's it for tonight. Yeah, I got to work on some glass beads tonight, so there may actually be another video later on. And you guys have the great rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. See you now. Bye. I'm about to sneeze, so if I sneeze on you, I'm sorry. It's there, it just can't get it out. But anyways, I pulled some of the beads that I had made already out of the oven. And they had a nice little ice bath. So let's take the ones that we worked on tonight. And I really love these, so I'm going to share these. These are a couple of the beads that we worked on. I love these little brown ones. They're really small. But I just love the colors in there. Kind of like a teal with brown. These are going to be so pretty. So we're going to move those over. These are all the ones that I practiced with today. So we got that. There's another one. That was an ugly one. That's an ugly one. Alright, so we're going to find a mandrel and we're going to put these on real quick. None of them have holes in it. Just these do. Okay. These holes are a little smaller than I thought they'd be. I was going to get on the torch tonight and it's just way too hot. So I'll probably do it tomorrow in the middle of the daytime when it's going to be extremely hot, but I think I'll have more energy tomorrow. Today I just don't feel like getting everything ready for it. So these are just my big donut beads. And we just threw a bunch of flowers on them. They're really fun. They remind me of like, I don't know, like a chocolate, like a... I know what chocolate I'm thinking of, but I can't think it now. But just that color reminds me of some candy I used to get. Okay, and then these were our pods that we made the other day. That one's got a hole in it. It's just not big enough. So a couple different sizes. I got a lot more of these to make. Half of the time I just make a couple. So these are what we worked on tonight. Let me get a bigger mandrel. This is the Kato clay that I used, that I didn't like. But I think with some copper, yeah, no. I think I can make a really nice bracelet out of this with a little bit of copper and some darker beads. I'm going to put white underneath this. It might make it easier for these to focus. So it's really dark, I know. Okay, so those are our first paper beads. And these were a couple samples that I made with the cane that I used last week. Or that I made last week. I didn't know what to do with them, and it was the only thing that I had enough of to make a bunch of these, so I just started making them. These are all kinds of different shapes. Okay, more of a southwestern look. And now we have the gold ones that we worked on tonight. So I'm going to do a little bit of sanding, but I think I'm going to really quickly put a glaze on top. Okay, this one, it's like getting an actual glass bead on and off. Not quite sure why it's not going through, but we'll use a 1/16. I think this is a 2mm hole. Okay, so as you can see, the copper will come off in your hands. So will the gold, because these aren't sealed. But these were the ones with the flowers. And actually, they're not that bad. I like the color it gives it. And these are the ones without. So honestly, I'm liking the ones with the flowers better. So I have the other part underneath me. So I'm going to use those, I think, and just put a little bit of flowers on the rest of it. Okay, and then this is the gloss I was telling you about. I've never used it. Montmartre. It's a gloss clay varnish. This was bought on Amazon. Here, I'll let you get the name. I think I paid $9.99 or something for it. Susan seems to like it, so it's always nice to have a person recommend something. Ugh. Did I just get the varnish on my hand? Yes, we did. So we're just going to varnish one. And I really want to put it on one of these because it'll stay on there a little better on the tip. So I'm going to have to read it and see how long it takes to dry. And I'm not one that wants to coat it like overcoat. I just want a little bit of shine in there, and I want to seal the gold and the copper in there. So that's all I want to do. And then I'll come in here and sand the ends later. So let me set this here. I'm going to read and see how long this is going to take to dry. 30 minutes to dry between applications, so about a half hour. So I'd still give it a couple of hours before I manhandle it. I really need an organize. You guys work like this? Or just everything is everywhere. Even when I'm organized, I'm not organized. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so there we go. And you're not even in camera here. And I know it's dark in here because it's nighttime. And we have horrible light in here. I need to put one more in here, I think. Okay, and I still think it's too much. Because you can tell it's just... I don't know. I don't like a lot of extra. I just want a thin coat. So honestly, it might work just fine with the pledge. Or like a Varathane. So there, we just got all that extra off. Now that I like better. got a cough all of a sudden, so anyways, it's a little different. So we'll go ahead and varnish these two, and I guess that's it. We're going to play around. I'm probably going to make some jewelry now, and I may come back a little later. So we'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of your week. Actually, it's Friday. I'm so off. My husband's out of town this weekend, so when he's not here, I'm just completely lost on my days. So it's Friday, so enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you maybe Sunday. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, I just wanted to come back and show you my little experiment yesterday. So this was the bead that I used this Montemardi varnish on. It's a really nice varnish, but I think it would look better on a flat bead than one with so many little nooks and crannies, because I don't know if you can see it, but you'll get a lot of buildup on the sides, even after taking it off as much as I could. So that's the bead that we worked on yesterday. And then we grabbed the rest of them and we put the Pledge floor polish on it. And I think I like this better because it was just enough to where it'll seal the gold. And it's not that much of a shine. I don't know how well you can see these or not, but you can see that they're shiny. But they're not sticky. They're not... there's not a whole lot of varnish on it. While this, it's not sticky. It dried up really nice. But I think it was just a little too thick on this. So just wanted to show you that. And that's it. Have a good day. Bye.